Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just laughing. Press Alt F4 to start stream. Oh, God. Yeah, how are we, everyone? Happy, Wednesday afternoon to you all. I had a little bit of free time, so I thought I would just, come on and jump on. I haven't done a little live in a while, so here I am. Got a little bit of free time. I'm headed down the hospital shortly to get an ablation on my neck. So, had an hour free. A little bit bored. Thought I'll jump on and see what's cracking, see what's going on. So, lots of stuff going on in the world of mixed martial arts. We can get into that stuff. But always like to hear from you lot. Good morning or good evening, Sweden. Hope you're well in Sweden. What's going down, my man? Not much. Not much. Do I think that Volkanovski can beat Ilya in a rematch? That comes from Alex. Can he beat him in a rematch? Well, I mean, after watching that performance, it'd be easy to say no, but it'd also be disrespectful to say no. To say that Volkanovski couldn't compete against that guy that he won the first round against, it'd be disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? To assume, given all the great victories that he's had, it'd be disrespectful. Listen, every single fight is different, granted. Ian Gary Barlow. I don't know why that cracks me up. Did you get a free red stapler with those glasses? People take the piss out of the glasses. I just ordered 3 new pairs, so piss off. I did not get a stapler, though. Why would I get a stapler? Terry Bailey, piss off. What's it called when Batman skips church? I don't know, Karate Kid. What is it called when Batman skips church? Let's wait for the answer there. Only you would... No, shut up. No, I know. Shut up, everyone. Karate Kid, give me the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, what's it called when Batman skips church? What could it be? What's it called when Batman skips church? I don't know. Could I beat GSP in a rematch? Yes, I could. I was going to win that fight. I tore my ribs, my cup ripped. No man alive should be Christian Bale when a Batman skips church. Oh, dear. Who's the most hated fighter in the UFC? Brad Galea. Oh, I don't know, mate. I don't know. I try not to focus and dwell on such negativity, All nothing but positive here. Enjoyed your 298 commentary. Thank you very much, Eileen. Come on, Eileen. Who's the most hated? Who is the most hated? Oh, Ian Gary. Everyone's saying Ian Gary in the chat. That's not me. Ian Gary definitely for sure is getting some spectacular boos. He really is. And I'll tell you what, fair play to him because he's only a young man, right? And listen, he steps on his own toes a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for? He kind of asks for it, doesn't he? But to go out there and stay so disciplined, when everyone's talking that much shit and booing that much, do you know what I mean? That's impressive, I'll tell you that. When's the next commentary gig? You and Anik is the meta team. No man alive can top this team. I will be back in action next weekend. Next weekend at the Apex, I believe it's myself, Daniel Cormier, maybe John Anik. John Anik, probably, I think, actually. Next week, guys. Tell me your thoughts on Rockhold versus Mike Perry, bare knuckle. Why? I will. My thoughts are Mike Perry's just built for that stuff, isn't he? Absolutely built for it. Am I on UFC 299? No, I'm not. I don't normally do the pay-per-views. I would love to. The pay-per-views are phenomenal. I mean, Saturday night, commentating 298, just the energy in the building was ridiculous. The fights, of course, from a research point of view, from a commentating standpoint, research is so much easier. Of course, you still do the research, but you still watch the fights because you want to refresh yourselves. But you can do it off the top of your head. I know these guys like the back of my hand. Let's have a look. Should Chael be in the Hall of Fame if Vanderlei is? Ooh, that's a good question, Zoltan. Should Chael? No, I don't think so. I understand I understand Vanderlei being in. Vanderlei was a Pride champion. Vanderlei was a legend, an old school legend of mixed martial arts, right? I fought Vanderlei Silva. I feel like I was robbed on the scorecards. But regardless, our build-up in typical Michael Bisping fashion, it got kind of nasty. You know what I mean? That's just how I was. That's who I was back then. But you still got to give him his props. He was one of the first big superstars, certainly over in Japan. Chael Sonnen, unbelievable fighter as well. Big personality in the sport. I wouldn't be against Chael being in the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't be against it, but I don't think you can use the same parameter as Vanderlei. When will Tales from the Octagon be in Australia? I don't know, mate. I don't know. I hope so. I hope the promoters reach out and offer me that again. I was looking forward to doing that one down there. I really was, but I went and did a movie. I was away for 10 weeks, so you know what I mean. I apologise. Bisping and Sonnen podcast would be fighting. Do you know what? It's funny you say that. I was going to reach out to Chael and say, we should start a podcast. And then he started one with Daniel Cormier. God damn. Would I join the World Wrestling Entertainment commentary team? I know nothing about WWE. Although I would do. I could learn. It's not hard, is it? Wouldn't be against it. I got asked recently if I'd do that. I said, I'm not against clotheslining some people. All right, ours is gold says, do I think Aspinall fights Cyril Gane next? If not, then who? Thanks, champ. Thank you. Tom Aspinall, he's got to fight sometime soon. Obviously, he was holding out for the John Jones fight for a bit. John Jones currently looks like he's out in Thailand, teaching a few seminars and stuff like that. Looks like he's been enjoying himself, as rightly so. You know what I mean? What I mean by that is he looks a bit puffy. Looks like he's been on the booze and whatnot. And he was at a comedy club recently and he was caught on camera. He was just drunk. He didn't say anything bad, but he was clearly drunk. But so what? The man hasn't got a fight lined up. So I think he was in Australia and then now he's coming back via Thailand doing some seminars and stuff, making some money. Good for him. I don't know if it's Cyril Gane. I know that Tom wants a rematch with Curtis Blades. So Curtis Blades and Jailton Almeida, they fight, I think, is it in a few weeks? UFC 299? No. When did they fight? We'll look that up in just a minute. Yeah, you're right. Go careful, Bisping. Let's have a look. When is Jailton Almeida? Curtis Blades. Let's just do Curtis Blades' next fight. Because I want to know. Because that's who Tom wants. Because Tom wants, he wants to get, not revenge, but he wants to get that one back. He lost it fair and square, even though it was due to an injury. He wants to get that one back. Curtis Blades' next fight. Let's have a look. Tapology, does that have it on there? It does. Jailton Almeida, UFC 299, going down in 3 weeks, Miami, Florida. Can't wait for that one. What a fight card that is. Jeez Louise. Love from India. Right back at you, all my Indian peoples. How do I feel about Bend Over? Yeah. Come on, mate. What are we? In the 60s? Although, to be fair, I am easy to get. Can you give us a shout out to Daddy Rich? I think you mean a shout out. Who's Daddy Rich? Shout out Daddy Rich. What a card. Oh, you pricks. Let's give Gilbert Burns credit for giving fighters ranked no better than a 10 a chance. Chimaev and Jack Della Maddalena. Too many fighters try and protect the rankings. That's a great point. I mean, I understand why they would correct them, but Gilbert Burns is kind of bucking that trend and taking on tough fights. I mean, Jack Della Maddalena, I love that guy. He's just such a nice, cool guy. And in the octagon, he fights like a maniac. Let's have a look at the fight card. But Gilbert Burns is no slouch, man. He came on my podcast recently. That guy's... Hold on. I've gone to the wrong bloody one. I'm shit at this, aren't I? I am shit. Let's have a look. Anyway, let's go back to the chat. We'll do that in a minute. In terms of being... Where'd that go? That question I was just about to read. Who are some pioneers that I would like to see face in the UFC? Who you'd like to see in the UFC? What do you mean? Who are some pioneers? Oh, sorry, in the Hall of Fame. Sorry, pardon me. Who are some pioneers? Oh, man, I can't remember who's in the Hall of Fame right now, but in terms of pioneers, most of the obvious ones are probably in, but Nogueira, I think he's in for sure. You missed my chat, go back up. I'm not sure, mate. Throw some at me, I'll give you the one. Get the oil. What is all this oil business? Dana's oiling up and stuff. Where's that come from? Got a DJ name for a song. No Man Alive. Okay, Mike, did you see the new TYT Sports did on you? I did not. It was so dumb. I didn't see that. Bisping, you're a pioneer. Wouldn't say I'm a pioneer. I'm an old bastard for sure, but not a pioneer. In the UK, the term pioneer belongs to one man and one man only, and that is Ian the Machine Freeman. He was, before me, he was the first guy from the UK to fight in the UFC. I actually had the pleasure of training with Ian, and I actually made my MMA debut, my first ever fight, on one of his fight cards. So, you got to give the credit to Ian the Machine there for sure. What are my thoughts? There we go. Thank you very much, Justin Paxad. What are my thoughts on Marco Ruiz? Boom, check. Tank Abbott, yeah. Frank Shamrock, yeah. Of course, they all deserve it. They are old school legends. It's interesting though, isn't it? Because even though I just said yes to all three of them, it's like, is it just because anyone's fought in the UFC when they were older, they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I don't think they do. Do you know what I mean? Like, you hear those names, those legendary names, just because you are one of those older names and one of the first and maybe a pioneer in the UFC, does that get you in the UFC Hall of Fame? I don't know if it does. Slap fights are boring, says Project Prospect 86. No, they are not. Mate, I'm telling you. You want to go to an event, it's brilliant. Sometimes it can get a little annoying with all the fouls and stuff like that. The referees get a bit too overly meticulous. But generally, man, there's some proper excitement. Anyway, Merab wants to beat Taporia, right, Biz? I don't know about that, mate. I don't think Merab's calling out Taporia anytime soon. I don't think many people are calling out Ilia Taporia. Listen, we got to say congratulations to that man. That was just phenomenal. What he accomplished Saturday night. The way that he beat Volkanovski, but more importantly, backing up what he said. Because he said he was going to do it like that. Said he was going to beat him in round one. All right, granted, wasn't round one, but he still finished him. He said he was going to stumble and crumble him. And that's precisely what he did, man. He definitely crumbled him. So well done to him. Well done to him indeed. Right, Ian the Machine Freeman was a pioneer, but so were you. Well, thank you, Anglo-Saxon. I appreciate that. That's very kind. I guess... I'm 45 next week. Jesus Christ, how did that happen? 45. How old are you lot? There's not many of you here today. Just randomly, I didn't put a lot of notice on this one, so I didn't advertise it or anything like that. But I just thought I'll just do a quick live. But anyway, 36, 45, 26, 33. Jesus, a lot of numbers coming in now. All right, 20s, 30s, 40s. German in leather pants is 42. That's quite the YouTube name there, buddy. All right, let me ask another question. Where in the world are you? I always like doing this one. Stop with the numbers now, I get it. 20s, 30s, 40s. Jesus Christ, 95 going strong. Aberdeen, McCarthy. What next events am I doing? Well, I just said a second ago, I will be, Jesus Louise, look at all this coming in. Sweden, Liverpool, Clitheroe. You're not in Clitheroe. Luke Chadwick, maybe you are. If you're in Clitheroe, shout out Clitheroe. Southern England, it's kind of a broad stroke. Doncaster, Donny, nice. Norfolk, England, Antarctica, sounds cold. Cal says he loves me. Love you too. New Zealand, parts unknown. Who's in that? Bear Grylls, parts unknown. Bear Grylls. Listen, I started watching Bear Grylls. And Rebecca, my wife, she said, it's like a little kid going, okay, and like falling down a hill and going, oh, God. It's bullshit. I think Bear Grylls is bullshit. It's all staged. And he is like a little kid. Anyway, Morocco, Kaka, Kazakhstan, the world's best potassium. If you say so. Worcester. All right, stop with the locations now. What events? You're from Rhode Island. Yeah, no, next weekend at the Apex, mate. I'll be at the Apex. I was invited to Mexico City this weekend, not to commentate, to go down, watch Karate Combat, and then on the Saturday I could have watched the UFC as well, but I've got a fair bit of travelling coming up soon, so I was like, oh, Anthony Bourdain is parts unknown. You're right, it is. It is. And do you know what? I'll give you a little Anthony Bourdain story. As we know, or as you may know, maybe you don't, he was a big UFC fan. May he rest in peace. What a great person he was. He was a big UFC fan. And I was at a UFC event at the Mandalay Bay in Vegas. And I'm sitting in a nice restaurant there, I forget it, the Strip Steak or something. I'm in a nice steakhouse. I'm with Callum. Callum must have been, I don't know, he was young, 11, 12, something like that. And Anthony Bourdain was at the next table. And he gave me a little nod, right? And I was like, oh shit, that's Anthony Bourdain. Just acknowledging my existence. Obviously, he's a big fight fan. And then he sent over some dessert for my son, for Callum. Yeah. Sent over some dessert, and I just thought, never said anything, didn't come over, didn't bother us. He wouldn't have been bothering me, by the way. Would have been a pleasure to say hello. But yeah, the waiter came over and said, Mr. Bourdain, send these over for your son, a selection of desserts. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Anyway, someone set up Bisping. Give it a go, James Stark. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Okay, 18-month member. Shout out to the believers. Jeff Ryder. Big up yourself. So... the main event, UFC 300. What do we is DC live right now? Well, thank you, Orange County Oracle. I'm glad that you're here and not there. Yeah, UFC 300. What is with all the shit talk? Why are people... And I just saw, because before I do a live, I'll Google some MMA news. So I've got a few topics in my back pocket, right? And again, I saw an article from a dickhead journalist. Oh, UFC 300, what a letdown. What are you talking about? It is not a letdown. That is one of the best fight cards that I think we've ever seen. Without question. Yes, Terry Bailey. More Borat impression. That's not Borat. That's not Borat. That's Habib on helium. More Borat is my wife. Anyway, yeah, 300 is fire, Terry Bailey. You're absolutely right. Let's go through it. Hold on. Real quick. Hold on. I'm on the right window now. So all I've got to do is type it in, UFC 300. Look, Alex Pereira is one of the most exciting fighters in all the sport. Simple as that. What is it, 7 fights in the UFC, beaten 4 champions, been a champion of 2 weight divisions, and he's a knockout artist. That's the only way he wins, knocking people out. That is called excitement. That's what people want. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you spoiled little bastards. You know, never good enough. Right, so Pereira, Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill was the champion. He's the next. He is the logical matchup, right? He had to vacate because of his Achilles tendon tear. And Pereira, as I said, that man's incredible, and his popularity is skyrocketing. Zhang Weili, probably the most exciting female fighter in all of the UFC, in all of mixed martial arts right now. Yeah, she is. I stand by that. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. Yan Xiaonan, she'll give her a good go, but I fancy Zhang Weili for sure. Then we got the BMF. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Tell me that's not a brilliant fight. Tell me that couldn't be a main event anywhere, even maybe on a pay-per-view. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. Anyone bitching about this card, give yourself a slap in the face. Then we got Charles Oliveira, Arman Tsarukyan. That's the 4th fight down. Former champion again. Let's have a look at this, right? So, all champs all over the place. So many champs. And then Yuri Prohaska, former champ, taking on Alexander Rakic, right? A man with championship material. Calvin Kattar, Aljamain Sterling, former champ. Bo Nickel, Holly Holm, former champ. Davison Figueiredo, former champ. Cody Garbrandt, former champ. Holly Holm, former champ. Kayla Harrison, champ from the PFL. Sadiq Youssef, great fighter. Jessica Andrade, former champ. First fight of the night, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller. I mean, come on. What are you bitching at? What are you bitching at? And if you're one of those little dickhead journalists, one of those little dickhead journalists out there that's writing negative stories because you've got nothing good to say, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean? I get it, right? Writing and talking about negativity is better than writing about positive things, right? So like if you come on to YouTube and you do a video and it's all like, this guy's fantastic, this guy's great. Yeah, some people appreciate that, but it doesn't get the views. If you're coming on YouTube, for example, and your thumbnail is this guy's a piece of shit or this, that, and the other, whatever it is, that fight was awful, right? People click because they're interested. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, this sounds like a controversial, strong opinion, right? So hating on people, it just seems to be more popular, right? Because people are intrigued by it. You know what I'm saying? So they're all just doing it for clicks, talking shit about an incredible fight card just to get the clicks. Negative news sells. It does. It does. You're absolutely right. Thanks so much for the entertainment, mate. This is Dusty Balls. Give him a little polish, mate. Love from Ireland. Can I get a shout out? Dusty Balls. Shout out. Shout out now, Dusty Balls. Right? I can do a Northern Ireland accent, but I can't do a Southern Ireland. Just want to say, whenever I hear of Michaele Bisping, I think, man, what a guy. Shut up. Anyway. Let's have a look. So, what do we think, though? A lot of talk about UFC 299 is better than 300. Well, so what? Do you know what I mean? And by the way, I'm not here just being a mouthpiece for the UFC and defending them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, objectively, it might be. It might not be. Do you know what I mean? But if it is, well, then what's the issue? That just means that the UFC keep putting out banger after banger after banger. Do you know what I'm saying? And we as fans, because I'm a fan first. As I say, most of the time, I'm not commentating the events. The pay-per-view events. I love it when I do get a chance to do so. I'm sitting at home. Watching on TV. Weird watching one of your heroes just chatting on the casual. What's his face? Don't worry, mate. I'm just like you, buddy. But let's have a look at 299 because it is bloody good. Hold on a second. Technical difficulties in the Bisping household. Let's have a look. Right, so Sean O'Malley, Chito Vera, Poirier, Saint-Denis. That, for me, that's the one that's really got my attention. Don't get me wrong, Chito Vera is a good friend of mine. And Sean O'Malley, I'm a big fan, and I've got big admiration for him as a person and the way he fights. But Dustin Poirier, Benoit Saint-Denis, there's something about Benoit Saint-Denis, man. He's very intense, and we all know Dustin Poirier. Kevin Holland, Michael Page, I'm excited for that one. Michael Venom Page should have been in the UFC years ago. It's a shame that he didn't come here sooner. At 36 years old, I still feel he's got a bit of time to really, really make a big impression. He's talking about fighting Leon Edwards, right? If he beats Kevin Holland, one more win, you could see him get in title contention. Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena, and Piotr Jan, Song Yadong, and then that one there. That's a big one for the Tom Aspinall. Curtis Blades versus, what's his face? Jailton Almeida. That's two wrestlers. Two bloody wrestlers. I kind of fancy in that one. Curtis Blades, Jailton Almeida. I kind of got to go with Curtis Blades, right? Jailton Almeida is very, very good at what he does. The way that he wins, right? He uses the wrestling. Last time out against Derek Lewis, it wasn't even a fight. He just took Derek Lewis down and he led on him, essentially. That sounds very negative, but it's kind of what he did. He held him down. There wasn't much action for 5 rounds, even when he had full mount. So Curtis Blades, being a very good wrestler himself, but with heavy hands, probably got the wrestling to stop the takedowns, and then it'll play out on the feet. Maybe I'm wrong, though. So we might see a rematch between Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades down the line. I hope so, anyway. Anyway, laying on someone is not entertainment. It's not. It's not. Where is the better half, Bisping, the lovely Rebecca? You don't want to see her right now, mate. The missus is looking rough today. I'm joking, babe, because she's watching this from the other room. She's sick. She's not been well lately. She has not been well. But she sucks it up. Like, if I'm not well, and by the way, Lucas gave it to me. I gave it to Lucas. I felt like shit all last week. I went to the doctor because I was panicking. I was like, shit. I woke up on Tuesday morning. My throat was on fire. I was like, oh, God, I don't believe this. I'm commentating Saturday night on a pay-per-view when I hardly ever do one. And I'm going to be talking like this. Because sometimes I've got a very sensitive voice. Anyway, it was fine. I went to the... by the way, incidentally, check this out. I've been having an issue swallowing, and I've been choking a lot. So I went to the doctor to have it looked at. I got referred to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat. Okay. Waited months to see it. Almost choked a bunch of times and died whilst waiting for the doctor's appointment. I go and see him. He sticks a camera up my nose and down my throat. And you could see it on the monitor on the TV. It was disgusting. The inside of a living human's throat is gross. I'm telling you, there's all these different passageways, and every time you swallow, it all moves around. It's like an alien. It was gross. I had to close my eyes. Well, one eye. And what was I saying? Yeah, anyway, so the doctor's like, yeah, it looks fine. I'm like, well, dude, not everything's fine, doc. I'm choking on a slither of cheese. Seriously, a little piece of cheese, I'm like, it gets trapped in my throat. I said, there's some swelling going on for sure. Anyway, he looks at my throat as well. He says, yeah, I do see that your vocal cords are kind of bruised. I said, well, he says, that could cause you to have your voice kind of go frequently. I said, yeah, that is an issue. That is an issue that I have. I said, I need to protect my voice. I said, because that's kind of how I make a living. He says, have you ever thought about talking less? I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, just talk less. I'm like, right, so at 45 years old, you just want me to completely change my personality. Just talk less. Come back from the doctor. My wife thinks I'm in the right mood. She's like, what's wrong? This is the new me. I'll be talking a lot less. Sounded like Joey Romero. Exactly. Don't want to sound like that. I think I missed a super chat. Let's have a look. So anyway, there you go. Audience was pretty bad last time in Mexico. Modeling me in the face. Correct. On that note, what UFC location had the best audience in your opinion? Well, I would be lying if one place didn't immediately spring to mind. And I will get disowned from the UK for saying this. I've got a lidocaine patch on the back of my neck, by the way. That's why I keep grabbing it. I'm off for a little procedure at 4 o'clock. I'm always in the bloody doctors, getting an ablation on the neck. Anyway, Paris. The atmosphere in Paris was ridiculous. There's been some incredible fight cards in the UK. Maybe it's a bit of recency bias, because I remember when after the pandemic we went back to London, the first one at the O2 Arena was brilliant. And there was a lot of finishes as well. Finishes kind of help the atmosphere and the energy, because the crowd get really revved up and hyped up. You know what I'm saying? But recently, that fight card in Paris last year was just brilliant. Anyway, it's from doing the No Man Alive impression. It's from doing the No Man Alive impression. All right, I get it, mate. I get it. Yeah, love from France. Thank you, Zombie Bad. Anyway, give me a real question. Good shout. Do not apologize. What do you think about Ilya saying that that fight versus Volk would be easiest for him so far? What do you think about Ilya saying that fight versus Volk would be easier for him so far? Looking at his previous victories, does his statement seem to you to come true? I'm not really quite sure what you're asking, buddy. I know he was saying it was going to be his easiest fight and he'd had tougher fights before. Is that what you're saying? Like against Josh Emmett, he didn't get him out of there, but he clearly beat him. I think he was just high on confidence and believing in himself even more. Duende Verde says, Bisping, I'm 33. I have experienced kickboxing since I was 13, but I never turned pro. I have the chance now. Do you think I should do it? Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? I mean, that's your answer right there. If the answer is yes, then absolutely go ahead and do it. If you want to do it. Because that's what life's all about, mate. You're going to make memories. I tell you what, because who knows if you can go out and make it a career and become a professional kickboxer for a living, right? That's hard to do. You're going to be very, very good. But win or lose, you will be so happy that you did it. And who knows, maybe you go off and you have 5 fights, 10 fights, maybe you have 50 fights, who knows? Even if you just go and have 1 fight, right? You've done kickboxing since you were 13 years old, right? To go out there, compete in front of a crowd, it is the best feeling in the world. And I say it all the time. That's why fighters that retire keep coming back. That's why McGregor's still talking about coming back. As he said, it's some buzz, and it is. It's even better when you win. So good luck, whatever you want to do. All right. If you're in a cell I'm not reading that one out. Jesus Christ. Given light of recent situations. Man United are going to win the league. I haven't been keeping up with that, Jack, but I very much doubt it from what I've been seeing. I paid for this, mate. Your thoughts on Strickland beating up streamers? Is he a jerk off or well done? Well, yeah, just recently, or this morning, Sneako, whoever Sneako is, says that he's got concussion. I don't believe that he's got concussion. He was talking about it very jovially. He was having a laugh. If you haven't seen the video, and if you're on here watching this, that means you're an MMA fan. So if you haven't seen the video, I don't believe you, right? Everyone's seen that bloody video. It did the rounds. Strickland teed off and then beat him up. It was out of order. It was. But what do you expect? Stepping in there with Sean Strickland. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't surprised. I didn't see that and go, wow, that's really surprising. Was it out of line? Yeah. But that's kind of Strickland's MO, isn't it? You know? I saw a video of Joe Rogan actually this morning on Instagram talking about saying if that was Israel Adesanya, he'd work with you, it'd embarrass you a little bit, he'd touch you to the body and he'd let you realise that you're out of your depth, but he wouldn't beat you up. And I think most professional fighters would do that, you know? But that's Strickland, man. Here's the thing, guys. Champ, I was a scrapper in my youth. I look back and wish I'd channeled it like you did. Anglo-Saxon, exactly, mate. Well, your life's not over. Find something else to do, mate. If you're a little bit too old to become a professional fighter, I'm sure there is another avenue that you can go down to pursue to tickle that competitive urge. Burnside is back. Where is Anthony Smith? What a guy. Anthony's gone nowhere. He will be back on the Believe You Me podcast on Monday. So we switched it to just on Mondays only because he could never make it to 2 episodes a week. Well, sometimes he did. But with his schedule, with his fight career still going on, with his ESPN duties, you know, so it was really hard. It was really, really hard. And often I'd be left last minute to only do it with Harrington. And Harrington's fantastic and he's great. But I need someone else, you know, that understands the fight game to break down the fights with, you know. So we decided once a week with Anthony. And then just lately he's, you know, he's not been about. But he'll be back next week. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I love doing the podcast with Anthony. We have some real good conversations. And we love going off and down a little tangent and God knows where we end up. And they're the best ones. They are the best ones. All right, do I think that Islam Makhachev will have 2 belts soon? Well, there's definitely a possibility, isn't there? You enjoyed the Felder one as well. Yeah, Felder, brilliant. I might don't say anything, but I might get Felder on there regularly as well on the Thursday. We'll see. Yeah, can Islam have 2 belts? Well, the question, what you're really asking is, can Islam Makhachev beat Leon Edwards? That's what it boils down to. Because outside, yeah, I would love to be commentating in Spain, mate. Who said that? Jay Ruiz, I bloody hope so. Outside of Shavkat Rakhmonov, no man alive at 170 pounds is going to take the belt off Leon Edwards. They're just not, right? They're just not. Shavkat Rakhmonov, that's a different kettle of fish. That's a real tough fight for both men. And I'll be honest, I'd probably favour Shavkat just because he's got more ways to win. But still, I digress. But the question is right now, can Islam beat Leon Edwards? I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I really don't know. He's got the potential. Islam would have the potential. I think that's fair enough to say. I don't think that's being disrespectful to the champ. Far from it. Leon kills Islam. Yeah, maybe he does. Yair Rodriguez said he wants to beat Ilia Topuria. What do you think about that? Any chance? I mean, look, listen, Styles makes fights, right? Volk didn't get it done. Nobody's got it done against Ilia Topuria. Nobody. No man alive. No man alive has done it against Ilia Topuria. Yair Rodriguez, hey, you never know. You got to favour the champ. More than likely got to favour the champ. But you never know. Mike, do you know much about Royval de Spain? Is that a joke? I hope it is, but I can't think what it is. He's debuted at 298 or 299 early prelims. Well, I've got one of them up here. He's not on 299, you little tinker. Volk got slept. Laughing emojis. Why would you say that, Radamez Prime? Why would you say that? Who were the commentators for UFC Mexico? I don't know. I know Paul Felder's one of them. Volk got slept. Let's talk about that, Radamez Prime. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But what kind of person, unless you had a lot of money on the fight, would rejoice in that? You know what I'm saying? Volkanovski is a class act. He's a brilliant human being. He's brilliant, honestly. He's such a nice, genuine, humble dude. He's a family man. He's not a shit talker. He's absolutely hilarious. He fights all the time. He takes on all comers. He's willing to step up a weight class to take on the champion up there twice, once on short notice. And then, yeah, he got knocked out. But even if you had money on it, why would you come on here and like put laughing emojis? That doesn't make sense. Do you know him personally? Maybe that would be a reason. But if you don't know him personally, and he didn't steal your girlfriend when you were at school, then I don't see why anybody would take pleasure out of that. Listen, I admire a good knockout. I do. I love it. And we all do as fans. You can't beat that feeling. As I said before, the crowds, the nights that have the most knockouts, they're when the crowd really get going because they're hyped up, gets the adrenaline going, right? I love a good knockout. I admire a good knockout, and I love to see the technique involved that delivered it. But I don't take any pleasure from seeing another human being that's just trying to live out his dream, provide for his family, unconscious on the canvas. That's just, sadly, the risk that we take. Whatever your name was, I forget it already. See what I mean? I haven't forgotten Volk's name. Do better. Do better. Reverton, going to stay away from that one, but thank you for the super chat, just because, you know what I mean? What a guy, what a night. All right. Mike, who is my favourite fighter at the moment? Hard to say. Hard to say. I do get asked that quite a lot. Just recently, somebody asked me that. Who do I think the extra time favours, Fury or Usyk? Fury for sure. Who's that, Zoltan? For sure, Fury. Right, he needs more time. I'm excited for that one. And we've got Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua. That should be happening soon, right? Next month. Yeah. Like I said, I gave him a reason, Mike. I didn't see it, Radimus Prime. There's a lot of people here, and you are just one man. If Max beats Gagey, Max versus Ilya for the featherweight and the BMF title in Spain. What are my thoughts? Chris M? Yeah, of course. If Max Holloway beats Justin Gagey, and that's a big if, but if Max Holloway beats Justin Gagey, how on earth can you not put him up against Ilya Topuria, right? Outside of Volkanovski, the next best guy was Holloway. Simple as that. We all know that, but now that's changed. Now we've got Ilya Topuria reigning supreme. Volkanovski just lost. But outside of that, Holloway's beaten everybody. There's no one at featherweight recently, in the last God knows how many years, that has beaten Max Holloway at featherweight other than Alexander Volkanovski. So, of course, if he beats Justin Gagey, he gets to fight Ilya Topuria. Even if he loses to Justin Gagey, I still think he's got a shot of getting that fight. Probably after Volkanovski, gets that rematch. Because he's going to get the rematch, right? I'm not sure if it's the smartest thing to do, but he's going to get the rematch. What are my feelings on Arnold Allen? I think Arnold Allen is a phenomenal fighter. Thomas Wallace, I know, buddy, I know. He says, you cancelled your night. Tales from the Octagon in Belfast. Come on, Mikey B. Belfast, love the good night out. When are you coming back? Your ma is here. Lol. Well, my mum isn't in Belfast, but I've got a lot of family from near there. So that's why I wanted to go there as well. So, yeah. I hope they make it again. I hope they organise it, because I'm not a promoter. Somebody makes me the offer to go and do it, takes care of everything, books the venue. All I've got to do is write the show. I'll be there. But organising it all is a big pain in the ass. I'm not the most organised person. Do you think Topuria dodged a bullet not having to go through Max towards the title? Well, that's what Holloway says. Holloway says, listen, The UFC knew what they were doing. They didn't want to feed him to me because I would have ruined their plans. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, in the house, the one and only Kenny Florian. Ladies and gentlemen, a true legend of the game at £145 as well. Jeez Louise, donating $1.99. Come on, Kenny. You're a commentator for the PFL. I know they pale in significance compared to the UFC, but you can do better than $1.99. The great Ken Flo. What a guy he was. Anyway, can you spell run backwards slowly? Stroke. No, I can't. Ken Flo, what a guy. Anyway, Mike, what do we think about Arman Tsarukyan versus Oliveira? Arman is my favourite fighter at the moment. Yeah, Arman's brilliant, right? I really love everything about his style. Obviously, the last time out against, who was it again? Beneil Dariush. I mean, phenomenal knockout. And I think that's what Arman kind of needed because he'd had a lot of victories. If I'm not mistaken, the only person to beat him in the UFC was Islam Makhachev. On short notice, by the way, relatively short notice. And he went to a decision. Since then, you know, he's been doing fantastically. He's been undefeated. Great wrestling, good striking, ridiculous gas tank. The wrestling is phenomenal. And now against Charles Oliveira, this is going to be the one. And certainly on UFC 299. If he can go through Charles Oliveira, which, let's be honest, he's got a really good chance. Look at what Islam did to Charles Oliveira. Took him down, smothered him, submitted him. This bloody lidocaine patch on the back of my neck, my wife just put it on. She did not do a good job. It's falling off. I've got to go to the doctors shortly. They're going to do an ablation. Right, so basically what that means is they're going to stick some needles right into my neck, down into my nerves. They're going to electrify my nerves. They're going to zap the nerves, so the nerves die. So then I have no more pain in the neck because I have had a lot of pain for goddamn years. And it's driving me crazy. So today, and the insurance policies or insurance companies in the US, they've had to do gradual tests to make sure it works. And it has worked every time. So now today, finally, I'll go down there today. They'll do that. So the lidocaine patch is so they don't have to put me under. Because typically they would sedate them. They would put you under. Jason Carney. Big shout out, Jason Carney, ladies and gentlemen. Very generous super chat there. Thank you, Jason Carney. Typically, they would sedate you. They would put you under, give you anesthetic, you know, a general anesthetic. But that takes hours. And I didn't want to do that. This way, I can go in, bish, bash, bosh, like a real man. Do you know what I mean? They're not even going to put me under. I'm just going to say, do it to me, doc. Cut me, Mick. I was going to say, fucking do it. Stick the needle in. Let's go. They're going to stick the needles in. They're going to fry the nerves. And hopefully 5 years pain-free. We'll see. But this lidocaine patch isn't doing jack shit. It's falling off. Rebecca! She's bloody useless at putting on a lidocaine patch, tell you that. What have we got here? Jason Carney has gifted 10 Michaele Bisping memberships. Jason Carney, once again, very nice guy, very generous guy. I'm going to be honest. This whole YouTube malarkey, I don't know what that means. You've gifted 10 Michael. Does that mean 10 people now become members? Because that's great. And I'm going to pump out some member content this week. If you haven't signed up to the membership program, guys, what are you doing? Never mind Patreon, OnlyFans. Do you want to look at some people looking at feet? Do you want to see feet? I'll show you my feet if that's what you want. Why is Dagestani wrestling? This is from Zoltan. Why is Dagestani wrestling so dominant in MMA? I did better than Kenny. His 199 inspired me. Michaele Bisping and I were never friends. God damn, Kenny. I knew it. I was always unsure. I thought, I like this guy. Does he like me? I never knew. I wanted to be in the inner circle. I tried so hard. I bloody knew it. Ken Flo with his ivory tower looking down upon me. With his big brain and his long, perfectly worded sentences. God damn. Anyway, what was I talking about? Bisping, you're so sexy. Long Don Silver. I'm sure you are, buddy. I use those. They suck. What, the lidocaine patches? Yeah. Rebecca! So the lidocaine patches to, instead of putting me under. And right now, it's not even on. So I'm going to be in a lot of pain. I'm going to be in a lot of pain. Terry Bailey, costs like 350 quid. Well, Jesus Christ. Stand up, touch your toes, and spell run slowly. Jeff, not going to do that, buddy. I'm just not going to do that. Basically, my husband Brian got me your book for Christmas. I'm loving it. You're the man. Oh, really? Kenlin, your husband got it for you. Hi, Rebecca. This is the lidocaine patch. It's the hair on the back of my head. Well, I'm very sorry that I'm not a balding 40-something.
That's why it's coming off. It's not
Yeah, but you just need to apply it better. Come on, step in, say hi to everyone. Rebecca's a bit sick right now, everybody. She's not feeling the best, are you? No. All right, Kenlin, I'm glad you like the book.
It's because you're sweaty, that's why.
Well, it's because it's boiling in here.
Well, that's not my fault.
Just open that window. Open those two windows.
Hang on, let me put this on first.
Oh, it's so hot in this room all the time. Ken Flo's on here.
I don't think it's the real Kenny.
It's the real Kenny. People always say
better things to do this time.
Kenny Florian has not got better things to do other than sit here and watch me having lidocaine patches applied whilst going no man alive frequently. Okay? Any shows here back in the UK this year? Long Don Silver? I hope so. Tales from the Octagon 2 was a great success, right?
Right, stop sweating.
Open the windows, please. It is bloody boiling.
I'm going to.
Quickly, and put the fan on a touch. Just because I'm sweating. Slit518 says, hopes you feel better soon. Ian Gary Barlow says, I'm the real Ian Gary Barlow. Gary Barlow. Oh dear. Bisping, when is Paddy the Fatty going to fight a ranked opponent? It's a great question. I think the next fight for Paddy Pimblett should be Renato Moicano. He just got the job done over Drew Dober. Moicano and Paddy had a little beef back and forth on Instagram and stuff. Jason Kenny, just want to say you are the man one more time. Paddy now needs to fight a ranked opponent. Moicano would gain a lot over a win over Paddy Pimblett. Moicano has some star power to him. He's brilliant on the microphone. And stylistically, would be a great fight for both men. So, Paddy Pimblett, Renato Moicano makes all the sense in the world. Paddy doesn't beat anybody in the top 10, I don't think. Hey, listen, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. The problem is with the top 15 in the lightweight, it is killers. Straight killers. Thoughts on Oban Elliott? Song Yibong. Thoughts on Oban Elliott? Very impressed with what I've seen so far. Did well on the Contender, showed a lot of heart. Almost got finished on the Contender, but came back. Almost got finished at the weekend, but came back. So he's just got to clean up getting caught with a few shots. Maybe improve his defense a little bit. Gas tank phenomenal. He's a great striker. He's a good little wrestler as well. I think Oban Elliott can do some good things. I met him last week. Funny guy. Absolutely hilarious. Great personality and a very, very inspiring backstory. His father was what got him into martial arts. Always wanted him to be a fighter. And sadly, his father took his own life when he was a young man. So, you know, he kind of, you know, he got very, very emotional telling us all about it. And I said to him, I said, your father will be proud of you right now. You're here about to make your UFC debut. And, you know, that made him even more emotional. So I'm like, sorry, mate. Would you like to have a tear-up? Who would you like to have a tear-up with now? No one. I don't know. There's a few dickheads around. There's a couple of people at the start of this week who annoyed me. Hi, Mike. When's the house tour? Don't know, mate. All right, Luke Worrell, stop going on about Robeles de Spain, future heavyweight champ. Got it, seen it, acknowledged, like it. I'll look him up in a minute. John B, £1. One squid in your back pocket, thank you. My 6-year-old asking you this. What did one flea say to the other? Want to walk or take a dog? Well, your little boy's a comedian. Tell your little Sean, tell your son, that's a good little joke. I've got another one for you. Oh, no, he's only 6. I'm not going to do that. Hello, Michael. Hope all is well. This is from Giovanni Perez. Could you give a shout out to my co-worker, Peter Holgerson? Peter Holgerson, what are you doing? Hope you're well. Shout out. Jabal Hill versus Alex Pereira. Oh, man, what a banger that is. What an absolute banger. John B's back again. Where's Lionheart been? He's had a little downtime. You know what I mean? Look, listen, I don't know what this, he's been going through a bit of a, it's hard when you lose a fight, unless you put all your life into it. And I don't know if this is the reason. This is me assuming, It's hard. The path of a fight is a very, very tough, sometimes, path. And it's lonely in there, So, yeah. Anyway, can you tell my mate, Anto Hill, to stop sleeping with lady boys in Lanzarote? Oh, dear. Who's the biggest star in British MMA? Well, it's Leon or Tom Aspinall, isn't it? Simple as that. And right now, you've got to say Leon, because he is the champ. Tom's the interim champ. You're a real one, Mike. You know that. Well, thank you very much. Let's just have a look at this Hold on, it can't be 298. We just had 298. You pricks. Is Felder still going to come back and have a fight? Yeah, you know what? I was asking him about that on my podcast last week. Paul Felder, he was hoping to come and fight Jim Miller, wasn't he? But obviously, they wanted to give Jim Miller somebody with, a bit of who's relevant right now in the grand scheme of things. Bobby Green's been fighting and winning against people like Tony Ferguson, whereas Paul, he retired, a couple of years ago, right? So I kind of understand that. But that doesn't mean he can't come back. He's still deciding. I said he should do it. I think Paul Felder should come back. The fact he's even thinking about it and talking about it, I think he should do it. But, hey, listen. My name's not Paul Felder. How do you turn soup into gold? This is a good one. I like this. It's a dad joke, but I'm going to steal it. How do you turn soup into carrots? Oh, damn. How do you turn soup into gold? You just had 24 carrots. Like it. I'm going to say that to Lucas later, and he will love it. Let's have a look in the world of mixed martial arts. What the hell is going on? Boom. I'm going to give you that. Google. MMA. Bosh. Hold on. Boom. Dana White. Oh, yeah, this is a mad one, isn't it? Dana White reveals Vladimir Putin gifted Khabib Nurmagomedov $20 million worth of property. Unreal. The King of England didn't do shit for me when I won the belt. My God. I didn't even get I got a tour of Manchester United. There you go. I know. Listen, it was great. Oh, no. The people of the Trafford Centre, they all showed up in droves. That was amazing. But I'll take 20 million, though. I will take 20 million. Anyway, Chael Sonnen advises Robert Whittaker, Paulo Costa to stay active. Yeah, well, that's what Paulo Costa's got to do. Paulo Costa, his biggest weapon, his biggest weakness is just his inactivity. I think that even though he lost against Robert Whittaker on Saturday night, it was a brilliant fight. I think he showed the world exactly what he's still capable of. The kicks were absolutely brutal. They were fast, they were fluid, they were smooth, they were deadly, they were precise. He just needed to be a little bit busier, a little more active. But Robert Whittaker was phenomenal. But I think if he now just stays more active, Paulo Costa, 2-3 wins, he could fight for the belt. This time next year, he could be in a position to fight for the belt. So, Costa, stay active. Hi Mike, long-time fan. See, Cage Warriors and The Ultimate Fighter. Okay. Had front row tickets, Brisbane, Tales from the Octagon, and the meet and greet. It was a 2-year sobriety gift. You got to return to do Tales from the Octagon. I will do, mate. All right. I'm doing it. I'm actually going to reach out to the promoter. I don't like asking for anything, but I'll do it. And this is for you, Mr. Surftown. Because a lot of people have been saying this. Down under. We're going back down under. I'll bring the missus. She's coming. She can hold my bags. I will actually do that. I will try and organise it. Bollocks to it. Let's go. Thoughts on Hamzat not being able to fight because of Ramadan? Well, what can I say? You can't fight because of Ramadan. If you're fasting, hold on, I'm still on the bloody mixed screen. If you're fasting, it's not really ideal for training, is it? You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Do I remember a guy called Mika Mehmet that you fight over in England a decade ago? I do. Mika Mehmet from Finland. He sends greeting to you. Oh, well, that's nice. Well, tell Mika Mehmet I shared the octagon with him. It's a good little fight while it lasted. Send him all my best. Send him my best. All right, so we've got a super chat here. Ilya, chest piece with crown, coiling back tattoo, suit, shades, belt grab, trying to scrap on stage, also won. Thoughts on McGregor imitation? Yeah, well, imitation is the highest form of flattery, isn't it? McGregor inspired a lot of people, what can you say? You know what I mean? A lot of people want to be Conor McGregor. A lot of people want to make millions of dollars and be a champ. You can't really hate on him for that, can you, really? Let's be honest. Humphrey, shout out. Mike, look out for Nico Carrillo. Number 1 bantamweight in 1. He's going to knock the F out of Haggerty for the belt versus in England. Okay, we're good. Ngannou will destroy that bomb. Talking about who? Who are you talking about? Anthony Joshua. Hi from Scotland, Zoe. You're right. Absolutely. I'll be in Scotland soon. Mike, what fighter can make a comeback in Oliveira's style? Oh. Well, it wouldn't be the same style, but Alexander Volkanovski, Dustin Poirier, but like to make a comeback in the style of Charles Oliveira, what you mean there is like to be someone that was kind of like mid-range fighter, very, very capable, but lost some fights and all the rest of it, and then becomes champion, and then becomes one of the most exciting fighters the sport's ever seen. I mean, you could make some similarities to my career, couldn't you? Come to Glasgow. Money Moicano. I'm not sure off the top of my head, mate. You want Rebecca? Yeah, well, you can't have her. Surftown, you're the man, mate. Yeah, maybe I will see you down there. Anyway, I'm running out of stuff to say, so we'll have a look at the MMA news. Maybe that gives us a bit of inspiration. Oh, look, this is that one I was talking about. Is UFC 300 headliner a letdown? We should have known better. Get a grip. Get a grip. Do you know what I mean? Little shits. Little shitty dickhead journalists. Right, the split decision says Hamzat can't fight in the United States because he's banned because of Kadyrov. Supposedly, Dana was talking to Congressman Gabe Itch trying to get him in. You got me there, you split decision. Michael, I have an amateur boxing match, March 24th. I've yet to join a gym. All right, well, join a gym. Any good drill suggestions? Yes, I do. But I can't bore all 1,171, which is a poor showing on the stream, guys. I'm almost embarrassed. Granted, it was a random one on a Wednesday with not much notice. But if I'm going to continue to do these live streams, we got to get those numbers up. This is bloody ridiculous. And I can't bore them all, giving you bloody tips and tricks. But I appreciate you being here. 50 Caliber says, shout out from Mike. Do I think that Alex Pereira could compete with Tom Aspinall? Good question. Something I can finally talk about properly. And the short answer is no, I don't think so. And by the way, that kind of relates to all these people talking shit about the UFC 300 main event. I said this the other day on a live, so apologies if you saw it and I'm repeating myself. If they'd have done Tom Aspinall versus Alex Pereira, people would have gone, whoa, what a fight. When in reality, more than likely, that's a mismatch. Because Tom is way bigger, and stylistically, he could knock him out on the feet. But he would probably take him down and maul him on the ground, like he has done to many people, like he did to Alexander Volkov, like he did to Andrei Arlovski. As I say, many people. Right, so that would be a mismatch, but they would be happy with that. But they make a legitimate matchup for UFC 300 between one of the most exciting fighters that we've currently got in the sport and a guy that relinquished the belt in Jamal Hill that also has an exciting style, and that's not good enough. Come on. X-Tazy says, who is my favourite fighter of all time and my dream fight? Okay, they are 1, and the same, and it has been done. Gold star for anyone who can answer it in the comment section. Favourite fighter of all time was Anderson Silva. My dream fight of all time was Anderson Silva. And I beat Anderson Silva. Granted, not when he was the champion. Granted, you know, he just started his decline, but he was still a dangerous bastard, man. Anyway, watched you in Hollyoaks on YouTube, and that one of your first acting gigs? It was John Fandango. That was my second gig. You know what I've got a... I can't say too much about it, but I've got a lead role coming up soon, and I'm very excited for it. I'll be the lead in a movie. Isn't that something? I didn't think that would ever happen. Anyway, Tap Out were making films, and they had so much money, they started making films, yeah. And they offered me a part out the blue. I'd never acted. Next minute, I'm in Austin, Texas, with my mate Jacko on a movie set. Dug my teeth into it, you know, worked with an acting coach before I went, had a great time, loved it, and I thought, I want to do more of this, and here we are, still chipping away. Don't think I'm an actor. I don't label myself as an actor, but I do very much enjoy it. Anyway, Expendables 26, there you go, sign me up, you know what I mean? The one-eye Cyclops from hell. Jones injured training, Fury injured training, what a load of shit. Well, Jay, it happens all the time. It happens all the time. As long as there's been professional fights, fighters have been getting injured while getting ready for those professional fights. You look back to Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad Ali, right? Versus, oh my God, as if my mind's gone blank, but whatever. That was rescheduled because one of them got cut or injured. So it's not a lot of shit. You expect fighters to step in there ready to take on one of the baddest men on the planet for your entertainment. Granted, they're going to get paid, but it's for your fan. But you don't want them to train for it. It's just, it's the risk you take. Because you are risking any time you're training, and certainly when you spar, you know, but you got to do it. You got to do it, man. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up shortly. If Alex beats Jamal, who does he face at UFC 301 if he has a quick night? I know, by the way, I've got to say well done to Alex Pereira, because not only is he taking on Jamal Hill, he said if he wins, which, hey, he might catch him, because that'll probably play out on the feet. I don't think Jamal's going to come in and wrestle. So if Pereira does catch him, he's talking about flying down 3-4 weeks later and fighting in Brazil. And that would be just ridiculous. I guess if he was to fight in Brazil, it would have to be Magomed Ankalaev. He's the next guy in line. I wouldn't want to take on Magomed Ankalaev on short notice, though. You know what I mean? If Jamal Hill... Sorry. If Pereira beat Jamal Hill, and that's a big if Pereira was to beat Jamal Hill, say I'm going to turn around and fight on the Brazil card, and the UFC said, you know what, that's gangster, let's go. I would like it, if it's short notice, if they gave him not an easy fight, but a stylistically favourable matchup, another striker, because or if he fights Magomed Ankalaev, taking it on short notice would be a bad idea. He's got to really get ready, specific training for somebody with the wrestling of Magomed Ankalaev. Anyway, if Alex beats Jamal, who does he fight at UFC 301? If Topuria loses next fight, does Alex rematch him or go for a title? What a shirt. Yeah, don't you worry, Rebecca. I will not be doing that. I wish I wasn't so afraid of boxing when I was younger and kept going. Nah, mate, it's all good. I would dominate all the kids my age, but quit because I get too mad. Yeah, it can get you mad. Mike, I hear that the grounding rule after the Arnold Allen fight is moving along nicely. Thoughts? Yeah, it should do. It should have been changed already. It's bureaucracy. We're talking about the downed hand. If you touch the floor, you're a down fighter and you can't be kneed in the head. They're changing that so the wheels are in motion, but they can't just click the fingers. Bureaucracy, anything to do with the government, athletic commissions, anything official like that goes at a snail's pace. But no man alive better than Bisping, and also Tales from the Octagon 2. That was amazing. I wish it was a little bit longer, but grateful to have been there, champ. Well, I'll tell you this, right? That I was on stage for about 90 minutes, maybe close to 2 hours. You know, when you go to a comedy special, they'll do 50 minutes. Ricky Gervais at Netflix, and I'm not comparing myself to Ricky Gervais, but what I'm saying is, you got almost a 2 hour long show, you prick. Comedy specials are 50 minutes. You owe me money. Joe H, yeah, I got you, buddy. All right, well, I still got a little bit of time. Michael, Khabib or McGregor, who do I like more? I don't know. Khabib. Prime McGregor versus Elite Taporia would have been a great fight. Kenny Florian's still here. Thoughts on UFC refs wearing cameras? Pride never dies. I would like to see that. I would like to see that. I did not think the highly intellectual Kenny Florian would still be hanging around here. I thought he would have off ages ago, listening to this nonsensical garbage. Thoughts on UFC refs wearing cameras? Pride never die, because they did that in Pride and they do it in PFL and all, don't they, Kenny? I see what you're doing there. Do it. Sign him up. Get the gigs on. Get the glasses on. Let's get the slow-mos. Let's get the close-up. Let's get the real impact of the knockouts. Oh, dear. Oh. Sorry, Mike, but I have... Yes, Notorious, I did. Yes, Notorious. Biggest threat to Tom Aspinall in heavyweight, John Jones. Of course. He's the champion. Tom's the interim champ. On the feet, stylistically, probably Cyril Gane, but Tom would more than likely take him down and nullify all that beautiful striking and deadly striking that Cyril Gane has. But it's John Jones, isn't it? Outside of John Jones, you got to give credit to Stipe as well. But honestly, and maybe I'm putting too much stock and I say the same thing all the time, I think Tom beats them all. Tom beats them all. Bisping, I did buy your merchandise. Well, thank you, Josh Paul. New merch coming soon. By the way, everyone, get ready. This is going to change your life. New merch coming. Just did a deal. Look, listen. So, like, you know, most YouTubers, God, I can't believe I said that. Most people that have a YouTube channel, they probably got a professional team around them, you know, helping them do things. It's just been me for a while. Yes, we used to have Anthony Evans, and I've got John Brannigan, my editor, but signed with a new agency recently, and they're doing phenomenal things for me. And just signed a deal with a merchandise company, so we'll be having a lot of new merch, great designs, excellent fit, the best fabrics, Egyptian cotton, you know what I mean? All that good stuff. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one. Anyway, MMA is a tosser. Are glasses part of the image, or do you have a problem with your eyes? Part of the image. Yeah, they're part of my image, mate. I just think I look sophisticated in them. No, these eyes are perfect. 20/20 vision. Mike, would you ever do an in-person ticketed show? Yeah, of course I would, yeah. Jason Carney. Yeah, I have done them. It was called Tales from the Octagon. I've done a few of them. Well, 2 of them, but I did multiple venues. But I will be hopefully doing a Tales from the Octagon 3. I wish I could go back to Tales from the Octagon 2 in Manchester. That was brilliant. The London one was a little... It was still a good night, but I'd got to rehearse it. The Manchester one, you motherfuckers were eating out. I had you in the palm of my hand. You were laughing your heads off. Tristan James says, let's go Cheeto. Give us the inside scoop on the matchup between him and Sean. Well, I think when you look at this fight, it's got Cheeto's longer. Sorry, pardon me. O'Malley's longer. O'Malley might be a bit quicker. He's got beautiful boxing, whereas, and he uses the footwork and the range very well, where Cheeto kind of has a different style. He does damage. You know what I mean? Cheeto doesn't touch you up and look to like range find and all the rest of it. Cheeto will walk you down and just smash your face in. That's why he's such an amazing finisher. He finished O'Malley the first time. O'Malley was getting off to a good start, but Cheeto Vera often gets off to a slow start. He's known for that. And against Corey Sandhagen, it kind of cost him. This is a 5-round fight against Sean O'Malley. So, you know, maybe look for O'Malley to get an early advantage. You know, maybe take the first round or whatever, you know. But it'll be dangerous for him once Cheeto finds the range and once he really starts to step on the gas. And make no mistake, Jason Perillo is his coach. They will be making sure that he's going to go for it, go for the finish right from the opening bell. That fight's going to be phenomenal. Can't wait. What is tattooed on that gigantic bicep, you ask, John Porter? That is Incognito 66, should I say. Initials of my kids. Very, very, very unoriginal. Do you worry that Max could have the Tony Ferguson effect after the Gagey fight? I don't, to answer your question. I see what you're saying, but I don't. I can't say that's something that I'm openly concerned about. I'm not losing sleep going, this Max Holloway fight and Justin Gagey. He's going to be like Tony Ferguson. No. Holloway's got a ridiculous chin. He's a big boy. He knows what he's doing. He's been in there with some of the best. But yeah, Gagey's a dangerous man. But this is the game that we play. 50 Caliber says, coming up to 40 years old due to 2 fractured shins, 3rd massive weight gain of 45 pounds. Any advice for getting back to shape for a lifelong martial artist? Eat less meals, mate. We're all brainwashed into thinking we need 3 meals a day or even 5 meals a day. We don't. The less food you eat, the healthier you're going to be. Eat less meals. Obviously, if you're drinking alcohol, mate, and you want to lose weight, the beer's got to go anyway. If you still want a little drink, make it vodka. But seriously, the beer's got to go. You've got to cut out a lot of the carbs and walk. Walk a lot. Walking's good, man. Find a nice little trail. If you've got a dog, start walking that dog. 3 miles a day. It'll take you an hour and 20 minutes or something. Yeah. I don't like Bud Light, mate. Yeah, get working out. There you go. Good luck to you, buddy. Who is Mackenzie's striking coach? I thought it was Jason Perillo. She hasn't worked with Perillo for quite a while now. Well, about a year or so, maybe more. Champ, do I think Oliveira wins? And if he does, how does Islam rematch go? Love the podcast, mate. Thank you, Dariush Kenyajad. I have no idea, mate. I have no idea. Look, I can see Sarukian taking him down and controlling him. It's weird, isn't it? Because when you look at Charles Oliveira and some of the losses that he's had in the past, like Paul Felder, for example, we were just talking about Paul Felder. Paul Felder beat him. There's a bunch of other people that like aren't champions that beat him. But he reinvented himself and then just became this marauder of submissions and knockouts and all the rest of it. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I think, given that Sarukian's younger, given that Sarukian, I don't want to say more polished, but he kind of is more polished in terms of, like, Oliveira takes a lot of risks. Oliveira is ballsy, man. But that's kind of what's got him in trouble. Sarukian's more calculated. There you go, that's the better word. Sarukian's more calculated. He's highly trained in every area. So I guess I'd be leaning towards Sarukian, but I think Charles Oliveira is the most exciting fighter in all of mixed martial arts. My God, he's brilliant. He really is. Not true. Watch calories and eat fresh, real food. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, watch your calories, Roy Studio. You dickhead. That's what I'm saying. Eat less calories. You don't need multiple meals per day. We've all been fucking brainwashed and we all eat bullshit processed foods. Don't eat processed foods. Try and eat natural products. Do you know what I mean? Cereal. Don't be eating fucking cereal That's just garbage. Don't be eating anything from down the supermarket pretty much. Certainly if you live in America. The food quality in America is bad. And it's all because of the health, the health industry. I'm telling you, the FDA, the shit that's allowed in food, 90% of it isn't allowed in European foods. Raw eggs, go for it. Go raw eggs, Craig Walker. Boiled eggs, fried eggs, scrambled eggs, poached eggs, raw eggs, eggs in a blender, eggs in a shake, eggs in a shell. Can't get enough eggs. And the government come out and say, yeah, it's all cholesterol. It's bad for your cholesterol. Bullshit. They're great for you. And I'm basing this on a lot of YouTube videos from doctors that I've watched, right? So maybe I'm misinformed, but the popular consensus is that they are very, very good for you. Eggs. So, right, I'm done. How long's that been? An hour 15. You got 5 minutes. 5 minutes and I'm done. Have I met King Charles? I have not met. In fact, you haven't got 5 minutes because I've got to go. I've got to go get bloody stuck. Got to get the needles in my neck. I've got to be there. It's about 40-minute drive. What's best for the weight cut when you were a fighter? Hot baths. Hot baths with a load of salt in it. Just get about 10 litres of salt from the supermarket. Hot bath. Make it as hot as you can. Cover yourself in sweet sweat or Abilene, like makeup remover. Pour all the salt in. Jump in the bath. 20 minutes. Then get out. Do it again. Rinse and repeat. Conor Trent loves an egg or two. He does. Right, listen, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't know where you are in the world, but wherever you are, enjoy. Take care. Enjoy the next shit. I will. Taking it like a real man. No anesthetic for this guy. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it old school. Just stick me, dog. Just put it in.